we know with Philadelphia that they have a big decision to make this offseason, Brandon. That is Jalen Hurts. He is currently making $1.5 million as a former second round pick. And in the Super Bowl, I said this, there was a conversation to be had. He outplayed Mahomes. Whether or not you agree, it's, at the eye of the beholder. I think he played better than Mahomes because he had over 100 more passing yards. And granted, this is an injured Mahomes, but even still, that's a top three quarterback in the league. Mahomes on one leg. And Hurts had an MVP
Jalen
season.
was hurt too.
He was hurt too. That's a great point with his shoulder. I mean, I don't think enough people really noticed that because you saw him throwing a 53-yard dot to A.J. Brown in the red zone or into the end zone. Like, he was healthy the entire season.
One to
He
Devontae
also,
Smith on the left side of the field too.
I mean, he made 6 or 7, probably at least 5 terrific throws, whether it was on the run, on the money, his arm strength. He's gotten so much. I mean, the jump that he's taken can only be compared to Josh Allen, I think, in terms of accuracy, arm strength, consistency. And we had questions. Hurts can throw, right? He's not Michael Vick. He's not Lamar Jackson in his rookie season. We know he can, but it was a matter of doing it in the biggest moments against the best teams, the best defensive coordinators. And let me tell you, against Spags, against a Chiefs defense that by and large is above average, he had a terrific game. Do the Eagles extend Jalen Hurts for $44 million this offseason, which is right around his annual market value, or do they have some reservation after seeing Carson Wentz? And I don't know if it's like a Ben Simmons fall off that he had.
Yeah. How many years left on his contract does he have, John?
He's got one more, but they'll give him the fifth year op. Oh, whoa! He's a second round pick, so he doesn't get the fifth year option.
Nope. So he's on. So this is his fourth season. So he's playing on his last deal.
Yeah, so now he's contract eligible.
Yeah, I would imagine that he's probably going to get the contract extension. Um, See, that's
Probably.
what I'm saying. That's major right there. Are you gonna? And I don't know how many of these free agents you hit on, but Fletcher Cox, Robert Quinn, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Jason Kelsey might retire. We don't know yet. James Bradbury, Isaac
Simalo.
Simalo, thank you. TJ Edwards, Ndamukong Suh, Linville Joseph, Miles Sanders, and Chauncey Gardner Johnson. A lot of
Kaiser
guys.
White.
I named a couple there that are veterans that they kind of brought in late season, but still, you know, it's just a lot of guys there. And I don't know if they're going to have the money to pay all of them. They're definitely not going to have enough money to pay all of them. All right. Especially with that contract coming with Jalen Hurts. That's big time. And Devontae Smith, like I said, he's going to be wanting his money soon too. One thing they do have in their favor, John, is they got 2 first-round picks.
10th
They've
overall.
got the 10th overall pick from New Orleans, and they've got the 30th. I believe that they're probably going to draft a defensive player. I think that's just the smartest choice to make. So they got some interesting decisions to make. I do believe they don't resign. They extend Hurts. And then another thing, like you mentioned, both coordinators gone. How are they gonna? We're gonna find out the real depth of this coaching staff.
That's a great point. The good news is, so like I said before, Hurts, he can get upwards to a $50 million deal. I wonder if he has so much of the intangible where he takes a pay cut, which would be insane given he hasn't gotten the payday yet. And he's also not established as, a top 5 quarterback that even if he has these injuries, he's going to get a bag in his 3rd contract. But there's another thing with Jalen Hurts and this Eagles team. Even if you give him a $200 million extension for 5 years or 4 years, he's going to be on a rookie contract next season. And so you have the flexibility to extend a lot of these veterans, retaining Javon Hargrave. You add a corner at pick 10 because there's a lot of pretty good ones in this class. And now you're looking at Jalen Hurts for a second year playing at an MVP level. A top 10 quarterback is what I think he's now become, and he's making chump change. Do you think the Eagles next year will find themselves back in the Super Bowl, given how out of whack the NFC is?
No. I just think it's super hard to get back. And while you might be right in terms of he'll be on the rookie contract this year, I just don't see them being able to resign a large majority of these free agents, especially there's a lot of key ones. I mean, we don't see what the Bucks did after they won the Super Bowl, re-signing basically every starting player that they had the year prior. We don't see that very often. And when we did see it with the Bucks, we saw they didn't get back to the Super Bowl. So I just can't, because it's just like we all know there's about 4 new playoff teams every year. All right. There's always that one team that's coming up. I know you're major high on the Lions. I love the Lions too. The Vikings are still a pretty good team.
They'll fall off.
The Packers. We'll see what Aaron Rodgers does. I know
Fall.
you're high on Jordan Love, so there you go. The NFC West, I believe the Rams will be back. I do believe that. I know some people are skeptical about Stafford's health, but I do believe they'll be
Sure.
back.
The
The
Panthers have
Seahawks,
this monster coaching staff. They're retaining Steve Wilkes. They're bringing in Ajay Evero from Denver. They have Frank Reich. They
they
have
brought in
Josh
Jim
McCown as the
Caldwell.
yeah.
They
Oh,
brought in
Jim
Jim Caldwell
Caldwell.
too. Yep.
I thought maybe it wasn't Steve Wilkes. I think it might have been Jim
I think it
Caldwell.
was Jim Caldwell. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Steve Wilkes went to the 49ers. He's the defensive coordinator for the 49ers now.
Thank you. Thank
Yep.
you.
So there, and then we talk about the 49ers are still going to be there. We'll see, Brock Purdy, he'll probably miss a little bit, so maybe it'll be Trey Lance. Uh, you got the Seahawks. They were a good team this year. So there's just a bunch of teams in the NFC East. The Cowboys, they're still going to be there, even though people like to say they're frauds, and they haven't really shown otherwise that they aren't. But they're still a pretty good team, and I think that they're a playoff team currently constructed. We haven't seen moves to be made.
Hmm.
So I don't see it. I don't see it, to answer your question. I don't see the Eagles getting back. I think it's incredibly hard, and I know. Here's the thing that we got to keep in mind too, and it's something that I brought up about Joe Burrow. So a quarterback who loses their first Super Bowl appearance never gets back. Jalen Hurts just did. Joe Burrow wasn't able to get back. Jalen did, he's on his loss. So that whatever you want to call it, record, tradition, whatever, is still standing. So, I mean, somebody's got to break it, right? Because records are meant to be broken. But
Yeah.
until it's broken,
So you know that list of players? I've got it. I
I
think
don't
right
know
here
that
on
list of
Reddit.
players. I would imagine Dan Marino's on that list. I think.
Oh yeah, he is definitely on it. He
Yep.
is
Joe
actually
is obviously on that
maybe.
list. Burrow.
So here's the list of players. Some of these guys I actually can't even notice. Jimmy Garoppolo, Jared Goff, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Colin Kaepernick, Rex Grossman, Hasselback, Donovan McNabb, Del Home in Carolina, Gannon in Oakland, Collins, Doug Collins. Am I thinking of the NBA coach in the Bulls? I am. Terry Collins. There you go. Steve McNair, the late great. Drew Bledsoe.
Oh.
I'm not even gonna mention the Steelers' name. We'll move on from him. And then Chandler. I don't know who that is, but he was another player on that list. And for some reason, Dan Marino's not on there, even though he is the quarterback, the most important one that never got back. Neither here nor there.
So I mean, yeah. So Jalen's got an uphill battle, just like Joe Burrow does, and I mean, we'll see. For me, though, it's just it's hard. It's really hard to get back, man. It's hard. Like I can't put it any other way. It's just insanely difficult.
It's hard unless Jalen Hurts takes a pay cut. And look,
He's
so I'm gonna
not,
ask.
John. I know you brought that up. I want to just speak on. I know you brought that up, but we've got to remember there's only one person in sports history that has actually consistently taken an actual pay cut. And I'm not just
Yo,
doing that to put more on Brady. No, there's not two. Who's the second? Who's the
that
second?
man, Patrick Mahomes.
No, he is not. No,
Why
no,
do you think he took a
no, no, no,
10
no, no, no,
deal,
no.
man?
I'm gonna
That was
explain to you.
priced
I'm
in
gonna
the
explain to you why you're
cap
wrong on that.
rise.
I'm gonna explain to you why you're wrong on that. I know what you mean by that. You're thinking about something different. You're thinking about putting the cap hit down the line. Okay? Every quarterback does that. Even Aaron Rodgers does that. Okay? What Tom Brady does is consistently take under market value. Okay? No quarterback, no player in any sport has ever done that, especially at the level of a Tom Brady.